That's not even fucking good. Oh, there we go. No, I was just joking. I was just joking. I pressed it all along. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Borderline Podcast with me, your host, Andrew Willix. We've had to go for a very alternative approach with tonight's intro that will play well into our guest hands. Tonight, I'm welcomed by the brilliant Saran Sanderson. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
I also just want to start off tonight by saying I'm so fucking happy that I'm doing this interview up at the gym. I don't know if anybody listened at around about a minute 30 into the other episode with Paul. My chair completely broke. So Adam, I think you're coming on Sunday, buddy. I'm gonna make sure I've got a new nice new sturdy chairs. You're just back from Perth.
I am, yes.
How was it?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Nice and hot?
Absolutely gorgeous. I've been there before.
Yeah.
So like knew what to expect and everything, but yeah, it's
Australian lifestyle.
immense. Yeah.
Do you see any sharks?
No, but there was one that came on a couple of days after I left there. There was
That's
actually
good enough. I was going to say
I've
that.
seen a whale.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's a good conversation starter.
Yeah, I took that.
I was going to say, if it was sharks, then we would have just kept on going about sharks tonight. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the menopause.
Yes.
And you seem to be a bit of an expert. For
want of a
better word. So I'm going to let you take lead.
Yep.
Yeah. How did this kind of start for you?
So it started, I always say like it started when I was training for a bodybuilding competition.
Okay.
Everything was going great. COVID hit. The competition got cancelled, but I kept training. Still, I did a photo shoot and everything. Still, everything was immense. And then literally after that, I started to just gain weight. I think I put on like 3 stone in total.
Whoa.
So I went from about 8.5 stone up to I think 11 at my
I was going to
max.
say, I remember you very, very vaguely, across in the original like Sparta.
Yeah.
As like obviously one of the original PTs. And like I never, not sounding horrible, I never thought of you as a bigger person.
I think because you were so used to being so small, I used to like hate coming into the gym because I used to think everyone expects you to look a certain way.
Yeah, 100%.
And of what I was training for, and then I would come in and like it literally felt like I was just getting pumped up every day. I would swallow air and I would get bigger and bigger and bigger. It didn't seem to matter what I did, nothing ever changed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think I didn't like all go on at once, so it wasn't like it all piled on and stuff. There was like a few other things was happening, so I'd get like a really bad bloat where I literally looked like I was pregnant. Every day I'd be sending photos to my friends. Have you seen the size of me? Have you seen the size of me? Because I was just massive. And then when I went to the doctors, they were testing us for like bowel cancer, ovarian cancer, getting scans and everything. Yep. And then when they came back and obviously they were clear, the doctor told me you just need a poo. Go home and have a poo.
No.
I was like, right, no bother. So obviously, like, it didn't change anything because nothing was getting treated at all. I was still just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
When I was at work as well, I would struggle with how I was speaking. Like my speech would be not slurred, like I'd been drinking, but I could be quite like erratic. I am anyway. I'm quite hyper. But like I was worse, and I used to have to like would make jokes at work and go, oh my god, I'll have to stop drinking on my dinner, and like make a joke of it because I could see, you know, when you read the room, I'm like, something's not right.
Yes,
yeah.
100%.
Like I'm up
100%.
here, I'm either hyper or like I'm on the floor.
Yeah.
I find it very hard to be like in the middle.
Yeah, I can sympathize with that.
So I was a bit like that, and I just put that down. It's been COVID, it's been lockdown. You're not used to like speaking to people, and that's why you're getting your words mixed up and you're struggling.
Kind
and blah
of
blah blah.
generalised
Yeah,
anxieties.
just like that's all it is. I was, however, getting very erratic. Like I say, I am always up here, but when I'm up here, I'm not always like hyper fun, Sarah. I'm like rageful.
Really?
Ready to kill you, Sarah.
Wow.
Which is not a very nice place.
No, that's
or
tough.
I'd be like the other way on the floor, crying my eyes out, and like as somebody, if you know me, I don't do crying.
Right.
Like it's not a sign of weakness, but it's my sign of weakness.
Yeah. No, personal to you.
So I like to keep a check on myself.
Yeah.
And I would be like crying. I'm like, what on earth is wrong with you? Sort yourself out. It was like a running joke. Are you tired? Are you tired, Sarah? Because you're crying. Like that would be the only way that I could say it. Yeah. I'd get like a burn in my chest where I'd be so full of rage. Like it felt like there was heat. It was like someone had a hot poker and my chest was on fire with the rages and like the tempers that I would get. So yeah, I'd be like that. Went to the doctors and they were like, "Oh, we'll put you on an antidepressant to level you out because that's obviously what's wrong."
Yeah,
with
your
you.
serotonin
Yeah.
and your cortisol.
It's like, right, no bother. Knew I wasn't depressed though. I still knew that wasn't what was wrong with us. But I didn't know what else to do. Because at that point, like it was,
you just got to trust.
it was a roller coaster of rage, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm going to end up in jail.
Yeah.
So I like went on those, and then like more and more things was starting to happen, where I just still was not right, and this was going on and on and on. And then one day I was listening to a podcast with James Smith and Louise Newson. He's like a PT, and she's a menopause doctor.
The kind of controversial. Yes. I love him. I absolutely love him.
Used to like listen to him loads in lockdown when I was out on my walks and stuff. And listening to that, and like he was same thing, learning about the menopause, and that's why he'd got her on. And she was talking, and I was like, oh my god, like a lot of what she's saying is like what I'm like.
Yeah.
So then I started, like, once I discover something, I get very into it. So like
you're the very same as me, by the way.
Yeah. Then I like have to stalk Louise Newson. Right, where can I find her? What does she do? Da, da, da. And I'd like find a new podcast that was with her and what she's talking about. And she was talking to like different celebrities. Lisa Snowdon.
Yeah.
Used to go out with George Clooney.
All right.
Is that what she called?
I think I know who you mean.
Yeah.
I think I know who you mean.
She was on one of the things and she was talking, and again I was like, oh my god, so like me. Getting hot, the flushes, the anger, the rages, the crying, like the brain fog. I get really bad. I'm suffering badly this week with it. Brain fog, where I can be talking to you and then I forget what I'm saying, or I get my words muddled up.
Yeah.
That's another one. I've got a full list of like my full symptoms, but those were like the ones that was quite bad at the start.
And the worst ones. Yeah.
So then I investigated with her, listened to more of her stuff. What do you do? And then downloaded her app, which is called Balance, and I would recommend every woman to have it in their life. Have you heard of it?
I think I've heard of. I think there's also a section of Balance, or there might be like a cross app that's also quite good at meditating and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think she's got that on there.
Headspace or something like that. I've heard a lot about that.
She gives like loads of tips and things. You can pay for the app or you can get the free version, and I've never needed to pay for it. Yep. There's loads of articles on there, like you can talk to different people, but it also like it logs your symptoms, and this is how I ended up getting help from basically downloading the app, logging my symptoms every single day.
Yeah.
And like I said, there was a list. You add like whatever's on there, and you're suffering from it, you just add it in, and then you would like mark the severity of it.
Yeah.
So some days like it's not always terrible, but some days you're like extreme
100%.
brain fog, extremely irritable. A lot of days extremely irritable. But it generates a report for you.
Yeah.
So like to start off with, for the first 6 or 7 months, in fact probably even longer, I didn't even see a doctor. I literally generated a health report that had all my symptoms on, and I sent in an e-consultation, and then that's how I started to get medication. They were like, all right, we've seen that you're on antidepressants, because I was also at this point taking like natural remedies, evening primrose oil, magnesium for my sleep, all these different things, and like nothing was helping. And while all of those things was going on, my weight was going up and up and up.
I was gonna say, like,
struggling to get clothes on, and
as a PT as well, that's
like awful. Yeah.
Obviously because of the dysmorphic, it's very dysmorphic atmosphere in the gym anyway, and it's certainly for a female.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of manage that? Very
hard. Like, I'm telling my clients, don't worry, no one's looking at you.
Yeah.
You know, just be comfortable and blah, blah, blah. While I'm standing there feeling all of those things that they're feeling. And also, like, looking at myself and thinking, how on earth can you PT somebody and, like, help them lose weight? Because you're just getting bigger and bigger. So you're obviously doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So you don't even know what you're doing. It put, like, a lot of doubt in my mind about myself. And, like, can I even do this job? And, it, like... people would say, well, you've like, look what you've achieved. I'm like, I haven't achieved anything. Yeah. I got thin. Because it's hard as well. It doesn't matter.
Especially in the atmosphere as well. Yeah. Like, it's such a self-critical atmosphere that you're in.
Yeah. You've got mirrors. And again, I tell my clients, don't worry about the mirrors. They're there to help you. They're there for your form and stuff like that. When I turn around and then all I can say is, I mean, literally, like, my bum was grown out the way, and like, some of the girls might think it was a good thing. It's not for me. Do you know what I mean? It was like a shelf. absolutely detested myself.
Yeah.
Nothing fitted.
Yeah.
God, like putting clothes on. It was like, when I look back now at some of the mental breakdowns I've had just to go to the shop. Like, we're not even talking a night out, and I would be like so stressed out. Yeah, gym leggings. Never worn gym leggings for about 3-4 years now because I just can't get them on.
Can't get them on.
Yeah.
Nah.
I would bloat so much and feel so uncomfortable in them. They'd leave indentations on my legs because I was so watery. It's probably the best way because it was just like a bloat. Yeah, and I'd walk down the hallway, be like, nah, these need to come off. These need to come off. I can't wear these.
But as you said, just before we start, when you're in about wearing shorts.
Yeah. Like that's the reason I wear shorts all the time. Everyone thinks it's because like, oh, she just likes to walk around in shorts. It's not. It's because I'm always hot. Yeah. So now I feel like at a good temperature. Yeah, nice and because it's the only thing I really feel comfortable in. Yeah. I have gym shorts and I have going out shorts. Like it's shorts all of the time.
Yeah. Smart. Yeah. So like, as you say, the doctors are obviously quite adverse, or what seem to be quite adverse to any kind of diagnosis towards menopause. Like, well, why is there this kind of stigma?
Do you know what I found
to it?
Like to be the worst? Women doctors.
Really?
And you'd expect a woman doctor. I don't know. I did anyway.
Of course, they're a woman.
They would understand it. I found them to be the hardest to deal with.
Wow.
Very rude, very dismissive.
Condescending.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're too young. Can't be that. And it's like, well, I've researched it and I've like tracked all of my symptoms. Yeah. And this is the conclusion that I've came to, and I can't find another one, and it's not bowel cancer, and I didn't just need a poo. Yeah. That didn't work either. Yeah.
You're still struggling.
I'm still struggling. I'm still bloating.
Yeah. And you say like, especially when the mental health aspects start kicking into it, that is when things are just going to accentuate. So I just kind of want to skip forward a little bit with it. When did you start managing it, and how did you start managing it?
I would say it took a good year to manage.
Right, okay.
So they did give me something. They gave me the patch.
Could you just explain what that is?
The patch is. So the patch is a little patch that you stick on your hips.
Okay.
Okay. You've got to move it around so it's not in the same place, because it also it's like a sticky patch, so it would leave a mark on you.
Right.
So you normally shift it around so that you're not putting it in the same place all of the time.
Yep.
Being an active person, because I still really was active.
Yeah.
I was still training, but nothing was changing in my body. I was literally just getting bigger and bigger, and not in the way that I wanted to get bigger.
Yeah.
The patches wouldn't stay on. So when I would say that to the doctor, oh well, we'll have to just do this. I'll give you something else. Like really, really rude about it.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why. I don't understand. It was the same. I had a really big problem with the doctors a couple of months back when I basically went down and said, "Yeah, I'm struggling," and the guy laughed at me. Yeah. And it's just like, what the fuck are you like? What are you doing?
So unhelpful. I had that. Then they prescribed me a tablet because they were like, right, okay. Because again, it worked for like a couple of days. I did kind of start to feel a little bit more like myself again, because that's another thing as well. I felt like a second-hand version of myself. I used to say that all the time.
That's horrible. Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm somebody who's always really busy, and because I was so tired, like that's another one thing. The menopause literally sat me down.
Really?
I lost all of my energy that I had because I was so exhausted, but I was also still really busy, and I didn't have the time to be tired. Yeah. So I work at Sports Direct as well. I'd be running around there literally screaming in the shop going, I have not got time for this, I cannot be tired. Like full of, again, bringing my rages out in it and having a fit because I'm like, I've got X, Y and Z to do and I'm too tired to do anything, and I'm like not thinking straight and stuff. So yeah, that was really hard.
That's it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry.
mental block. So yeah, that was really bad. So I got like a few days, felt a little like with the patches, or a week or so, felt better, and then they weren't sticking to it, and I was starting to I could feel myself dipping down again.
Yeah.
So went back to the doctors again. They tried us on a tablet. This time it was called Femiston Monova 10.
Right, okay.
So had that again. I had like a little bit of a rise, then flatlined again. Just felt shit.
Were they taking any levels, like blood levels, anything like that to kind of?
No, I hadn't been in at all. You can take a blood test, right? Yeah. And I think they did do a blood test at the start. Can't remember. It doesn't matter
Right.
Like
Okay.
if you're a certain age, it's going to show up something.
Right.
Okay. And I can't remember the exact facts, so I'm not going to say
No,
them
that's-
because
that's
I'll be
cool.
wrong. But like if you took a blood test in the morning, it's going to be different from the afternoon. So it can depend on where you
it's
are.
fasting
It can
and
be
whatnot,
depend
yeah.
on like where you would be in your cycle.
Yep.
There's so many reasons. So like if the one thing I would say anybody who feels like this, do not give up. Like you
Yeah.
have to be persistent and keep going. And I literally was like a dog with a bone.
Yeah, I think a phrase that you'll certainly agree with, and the sentiment I just posted the other day is a wise words that somebody said to me a couple of months ago: is never settle for okay.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
so
like
true.
I don't, yeah.
If you and as you said, you feel half the person yourself, and they've said it as well, that if you think that you can get 5% more of you back,
Yeah.
it's always worth going for
Yeah.
and fighting for.
I was like just not ready to have this as being me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I felt old.
Yeah.
And I know that's a really like stigma thing, because you do think of the menopause as what older women go through.
But it's
You've
like,
had
for
your
me
children,
personally,
yeah. Like you've had your children, you've like, you know, you're at that later stage in life and you're going through that. And for me, it was just like, I can remember walking past a girl with a pram one day and going, look at her, full of youth, and like screaming and shouting, poor lassie, she's never done anything
Wow,
wrong. Do you know what I mean?
wow.
And I'm not even, it's not that like I want kids or anything like that, but I'm just somebody who thinks that I don't even think I'm human. Probably.
That's
I
fine.
think I'm a robot.
That's fine. Hey.
And you realise you are human.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't willing to accept that this was it, and my best years was like past us.
Yeah.
And I was done, because that's what I felt like. I felt like,
Self-acceptance.
yeah. I found that probably the hardest part of it all.
Yeah.
I found it really, really hard to accept. And I think I was in a fight with my body. I felt like
Yeah.
I've done so much for you, and this is how you repay me.
Yeah.
You've
Massively.
left me like a car in limp mode is what I used to describe myself. I would be moving, but I wasn't moving like how Sarah moves. So yeah, I felt like I was fighting with
Fighting hard.
myself a
Really hard.
lot.
Yourself.
Yeah, I was.
And obviously, as you say, one of the questions that I was just going to kind of cover while we're kind of in the middle ground is somebody sent in before, which is a really good one, and that's obviously just kind of focusing on the menstrual cycle and the menopause.
Yeah.
How was that performance-wise? Were you, as you say, it sat you down in the gym? Could you still grab that bit of energy?
No.
Because
Nah.
because obviously,
No.
like, you know, when
Like,
people say, "Oh,
literally,
yeah,
yeah.
you can go through,"
Yeah.
no.
And I'm that person.
That's what I
I'm the
mean.
person
You're the
that'll be like,
person
come
that
on
go,
now,
come
pull
on.
your socks up and
Yeah,
get on with
that's
it.
it.
And I totally wasn't.
Wow.
Like really.
So it really
wasn't.
stripped you out of anything.
Yeah, of just everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything.
Left you felt a little
Energy.
bit.
I train a lot to hormones now.
Okay.
Kind of jumping forward a little bit, because I've like went so in depth with the hormones, like where you are in your cycle and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
you have like your perimenopause before you start going through actual menopause, where you
Yeah.
have a period. And for all mine are all over the place, I still get it, so I still know how I can train, and that's made a
Okay.
massive difference. I used to do that a lot with clients anyway, like 2 weeks we build, 2 weeks we maintain, 2 weeks we build, 2 weeks you
Well,
maintain.
you just kind of go into a little bit more depth into that, because I find that
So-
really interesting anyway.
Say like if somebody is due their period and like they're training and they have their period, then they've got like 2 weeks where you are like, boom, let's get this,
Yeah.
right? You can use that time to like grow, build, push yourself that little bit harder, because in the next 2 weeks before your period comes back again, you're going to be not feeling great. You're going to
Yeah.
be having like feeling differently about your food and stuff like that. You're going to want to eat a little
Your
bit
appetite's
more. You're
changed,
tired
yeah.
and blah blah blah. So you look at that point to maintain,
Yeah.
right? Whatever you've just built on, we stay here and then we build again and then we maintain. We build
Yeah.
and then we maintain. So whereas now I've like went even further in depth with that, and you have from like when you've had your period for the first week, your body can kind of take like high exercise. That's when your estrogen's in play.
Yeah,
so you
okay.
can do like marathon running, that sort of stuff. I don't do marathon running. I still just lift weights. But your body can take the stress of
Yeah.
that, right? Then you've got like the next kind of like your next week. You've got your testosterone, you've got your estrogen is in play as well. That's like peak week. And I can even see now from an app, I'm like, right, on Sunday the 23rd, I am going to be super strong.
Yeah.
Like, let's go and lift heavy weights,
Wow.
right? So for that week, the way that I train now is that would be my like optimal week where I'm lifting as heavy as I can. And from when I've started doing this, my week or my heaviest is now like my easy week for us.
Yeah.
So like my strength has went up and up. Then your next 2 weeks, you're starting to come down the hill. Your estrogen and your testosterone, isn't as much in play. You're coming into more progesterone, and that's where your body does not like stress. It likes to be nice, easy. It likes calm.
Yes, I want the bath. I want the relaxation.
On those weeks, I train like high reps with a much lighter weight. But like I say, that light weight is now what my heaviest weight was. But you're doing, instead of like doing your 8 to 10, you would do 20 15 to 20. And then that helps lean out your muscles as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So, see, obviously, like, I'm obviously in your hard week. That's like failures.
Yes.
Like pushing in
this, much as you can, heavy as you
Yeah.
can. Doesn't matter if you're like not doing your 10 reps or whatever, but you're going like basically as much as you can lift.
Because there's nowhere near enough awareness brought to how much the menstrual cycles affects women
Massively,
in training.
yeah,
I know that
massively.
firsthand from my wife. She struggles a lot.
Yeah.
And gets a lot of pain, and even that, I mean, I can't ever understand that, and it's not that I'm ever put that down, but it's just obviously something that I'd never be able to figure out. Never wanted, to be honest.
I've been like, I can remember when I was training to do my competition, I could be in the gym and my period could start.
Yeah.
But it didn't mean go home time. It meant like, all right, okay, then let's just
Whoa,
let's go. And I would like just push through that.
Yeah.
You know, whereas now, yes, it is like everybody's different. So the more you learn about this, I mean, I've got like my client cycles on my, phone. So I'm like, right, I know where we are. I know what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Because I know what's in play and how we can go with that.
It's brilliant that you've used potentially what was at one point your biggest weakness straight into your greatest ally, to quote Star Wars. Something like that. No, that's fantastic.
Can't be defeated. And I just felt like it was defeating us, and I'm like, right, this needs to. I need to win this battle.
Yes. Well, you are. You fucking are. You're doing amazing, man. You're doing so good. So, hormones. From what you've just said, you are an expert, for want of a better word. Very impressed. Can you just tell me a little bit more about how HRT affects women specifically? Because obviously I know quite a bit of like TRT, stuff like that. Obviously testosterone, low testosterone, but for women specifically.
I was going to say, so like I'm also on testosterone.
Okay.
So we tried the patches, then we tried the tablets. Still nothing was working. So then I got a gel. Still a little bit.
Is that the
testo
testo gel stuff?
That's still HRT gel.
Sorry. Okay. Right.
I think that's called Sandrina gel, if I remember. And then they upped my HRT tablets as well, my Femiston 2/10. So I went from 1/10 to 2/10. So they're a bit stronger. And a gel. Because by this point, they were sick of me. They were just like, oh, you still don't seem to be right. Go and have this. It's like, okay, thank you. Right? And then I knew, like, I still knew this something, like, I'm still not firing on all cylinders.
I know what you mean.
By this point, I was getting really bad joint pain. My brain fog was really bad. I can remember going to get my car and I was in the wrong car park. And like my friends was all laughing thinking it's funny. But for me, it's like, I literally don't know where my car is. This is not a joke. Like, where is my car?
100%.
Because my brain fog would be so bad. And I kept asking the doctors for testosterone because I knew that it also helped like your weight gain. It was good for your brain fog and your functioning and stuff. They would just kept refusing to give us it.
Yeah,
and I kept going back and back.
Hard.
And I ended up going to a meeting at a church hall in Eyemouth by myself. These two doctors, they were talking about the menopause. And I knew a lot of it because by that point I'd been going through it for like quite a while, but I also learned why I wasn't getting testosterone from them. You have to have a low libido. That's the only way that they are licensed to give you it, right? And I wasn't saying that. So I was like, right, now I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But also by this point, they had got that sick of me. They referred me to a specialist, and the specialist had said to them, give her it straight away.
Yeah.
So the phone call that I got from the doctors when they said that I could get it was, like these were her exact words, this is not what you think it is. It is not this wonder drug that's going to make you feel great. If you abuse this, you will grow a beard and you will develop a deep voice. If you've heard me, I cackle like an absolute witch. Anyway, like my voice has totally changed over the last few years. Every time I hear myself, I'm like, it's getting worse and worse. She was really, really dismissive of it.
I don't understand why.
Again,
I
like
do
why?
not understand why.
I had to fight for about 6 months to get that.
Very, very pro TRT in men, and why it should be available.
Yeah.
Because it is a wonder drug. Oh, sorry, it's not a wonder drug, but it is a natural substance in our bodies. As we get older, it starts.
It drops, and you need it.
And I've done some good and some very stupid things in my time, and having your bloods checked regularly is very, very important to that. But even as me as 46, I know that I'm on the low decline in testosterone, and I already know how hard that is going to be to try and get up.
Yeah, to push it up.
To push it up.
Women produce testosterone anyway, but like the way she was going on, it was like literally go and just buy yourself a shaver. Like it was ridiculous. I started taking that on Boxing Day because I got it just before Christmas. It was literally like my best Christmas present ever. I was so excited. I was like, right, I'm going to start taking that on Boxing Day, and within 2-3 days, no joint pain. And I'm talking joint pain like where I couldn't train my legs. I hadn't trained my legs for a year because it was so bad. My knees would like go so tight. It was like there was no... You couldn't move in them, and it was because of like your lack of estrogen in them. It made it feel like there was nothing there, so it just felt like my leg was going to snap. It's like your oil, yes, yeah. My ankles felt like though somebody would be drilling a hole in them all the time. It was like so hot and so sore. But literally within 2 days, started taking that. The difference was absolutely unreal. All my joint pain was gone. My like brain function and everything like that. Not saying it's sharp because it's still not sharp, but it was better. I felt just so much better, and I knew it wasn't just like, oh well, it's because you've got it and you just know in your head. Like there was no pain. I wasn't having to take anti-inflammatories. I wasn't having to take like CBD cream and stuff like that to get rid of it. I mean, at one point I had tennis elbow. I had my joints, like my knees were sore. They were inflamed. They were huge. I thought I had massive triceps. They were massive, but it wasn't from like working out. It was just inflamed. Yeah.
No, I can totally see.
All that went.
Yeah. So like, how fast then, obviously, did things start kind of resetting? Is that
With the testosterone, like way faster. Whereas I would say it took about a good year and a half to like feel kind of thing. We're in what 2003 now, and this has been going on since about 2019-20, and this has been my best year for a long time.
So you're ending it.
So
yeah. So is that obviously now just continuous for you for obviously the foreseeable future?
I think so. Yeah. Like I say, I've struggled a lot for the last few weeks with my speech and everything. It's not something where you're just amazing all the time. You do still go up and down, but the ups and downs are manageable. Yeah. You're not thinking, because it did get to the point where I was like, I now need these antidepressants. It was that bad. It took me to probably the darkest place I think I've ever been in. Yeah.
And that's really hard.
And I've had like antidepressants before. Do you know what I mean? When I was younger and stuff, because I was depressed. Yeah. But this time, like when I started this, it was like, no, I'm not, and then it was like, yeah, you are.
That's the thing. It's like
having to come and put a smile on here, like your poker face.
So hard. Yeah. So hard, especially when, as you say, when you know what depression is. It's not sad. It's your body's.
It was like it was a totally different feeling from where I'd been before. Yeah. And I was like, I can't thank God. Yeah, it really. You didn't want to get up in the morning, like literally didn't want to be. I would wake up and I would be like, I can't do this. I've already like lived my day through the night, and now I'm exhausted, and I've got to get up and I've got to physically go and do it, and I have not got the strength in me to actually go and do that.
I mean, I know obviously earlier in the year when I had a bad turn, and like like the one thing that always got me is like see like late at night, maybe not late at night, but it get to like 7-8 o'clock at night, I was like, I can't be bothered anymore.
And that's an awful thing. You don't want to be like thinking, I don't want to do tomorrow, and then today's not even done. But it literally was. I would wake up and just be like, oh, I'm still here. You know, and that was a dark place.
So could you just tell me like a little bit more kind of physical versus mental symptoms of like the perimenopause, and how they kind of change and develop over time, maybe?
I suppose mental symptoms would be anxiety.
Yeah.
Terrible anxiety.
Yeah.
Feeling like depression. Sorry, I have my list.
Yeah.
Your low mood, and it's a mood that you can't turn around.
Yeah.
You know that you're like that, and it doesn't. And I'm not that person, but I can remember getting to the point where I'm like, oh my god, see, everything that I thought I was an absolute fake. I actually am a really miserable, negative person, and that happy Sarah that was like so positive and cheering for everyone, that was fake. That's not who I am. This is who I am. I'm just dark, and that's what it feels like. It feels like it just overtakes you.
Yeah.
It really does. And then you've got, like you say, your physical things. I used to vibrate. I used to pulse. It would feel like if you took my skin off, you'd see my central nervous system literally just like creeping about, working, because I would feel myself pulsing all the time, and that is actually part of it. Because I used to say this, and everyone would like looking at it as like I was an absolute weirdo. What are you talking about? It is an actual thing, and it's because your hormones are off balance. It knocks your central nervous system off balance, and that's where that comes from.
Wow.
Yeah. Not everybody would get all of these symptoms, but yeah. These crazy like little things. I'd have that. You've got the rages. I mean, that there is my list of symptoms.
Well, yeah. Just looking at the list that Sarah's provided in front of me, that is very extensive. I just don't understand why there is such an adverseness against it, and it is so heavily stigmatized.
Yeah. Even now, like, see, I talk a lot about the menopause. If you know me, it is something that I am, because it's taken over so much of my life in a way that I never ever thought it would.
Yeah.
Like I say, I just felt let down by my body. I was like, what? I've done everything for you. Look what you've done for me. You're not paying me back in the way that I want. And I don't want people to go through what I have. I don't know. Like I say, not everyone's symptoms is going to be as extreme. I mean, there's a lot, because it's continued on the next page. Yeah, you've got those.
Sorry, it's going to go silent just for a thing while wow. Dry eyes, irritable legs, itching, joint pain, lack of talking, no mood, memory problems, night sweats. How about the night sweats?
Oh, you wake up and you're like that. What has happened here?
It's a constant reminder when
I feed from my belly.
And when Judith comes out, she just seems to serenade me with a load of pissy night sweats. It's like horrible. Wow, that is extensive.
I do think, because, and I've said this quite a lot, and I don't mean to sound rude when I say this, okay? Because I'm somebody that is very, very active, I don't know if those symptoms hit me worse.
Yeah.
And I'm quite in tune with my body, so like I knew straight away, right, something is not right here. If I was somebody that wasn't so active, wasn't so busy and stuff like that, because everyone would say to me, oh Sarah, you're busy, that's why you're tired, you're always running around, yes, but not anymore, because I physically can't. Whereas I think if I was somebody that just lived a normal life, didn't really come to the gym, I don't know if you'd feel those symptoms as much. I don't know if they'd creep up on you. I don't know.
Very subjective. But yeah, it's very. I suppose any symptoms, anything like that will be subjective to anything like I said just before we started. I know a couple of people that go through the menopause, and there's ways that I'm trying to instigate and help them with that. But even that, you get instant pushbacks. Yeah. Because it's not.
Even from them, like. Yeah. They don't want, because again, though, like I was saying to you before, it's because you don't want the stigma. Oh my God, people will think I'm old. I used to get quite embarrassed when I used to say it, and then I thought, you know what, it's happening. So deal with it, because I can see you looking at us and thinking, oh, Sarah's got on a few pounds. So I felt like I had to justify it with an answer straight away. Oh yeah, I'm going through the menopause. That's why I'm fat.
I mean, it's
I've forgotten your name. Yeah, it's because I'm going through the menopause. Well, I'm going off my head. And that's what I felt like.
Yeah, it's something that you said just a short while ago. It's just like, it is who you are now.
Yeah.
And that's that's something that I'm like with mental health now. Mm-hmm. It is a massive part of me. And it's who I am. It's embedded in me. Yeah. And the passion that gives you is just purely, you do not want, we're not going to ever be able to stop people feeling like this, because it's natural. But it's brilliant that you're at least raising the bill of awareness is absolutely fantastic.
I've done like a lot of posts on my Instagram and stuff like that. I put pictures on, which was quite a daunting thing of how I looked at that time, because also if you see how I looked, not just like physically as in I'd put on weight, my face, my eyes, I look dead. I don't look like Sarah. And when I've done like I did a little layout and a comparison of me from normal then and now, the difference was unbelievable. Like I look like a lost soul, absolutely just lost soul. There's nothing there at all. But from like putting those posts on, which is something that you don't like really know what kind of feedback you're going to get, the amount of people and my friends my age and stuff, like people that I know that messaged us or would be like, oh my god, thank you for putting that on, because now I realise not going crazy. I mean, I can remember standing in the stock room at my work on the phone to my friend, like, am I going off my head? Because she was saying that that's what I was like, am I just crazy? Am I mental? Because something's not right.
The amount of times that I'm sat just rocking backwards.
Yeah. Tapping your chest, tapping your chest.
Trying to refit the asylum jacket already. Let me be. No. It's horrible though, because you really do get, as I say, you get so lost and so justified by yourself, because everything is an injustice at that point in your life. Let's face it. And it's very hard not to get sucked into the let's feel sorry for me. That's something I'm really bad at. Obviously, you're very strong-minded.
I used to hate listening to myself, because I'd hear myself, and I talk a lot to myself.
I self-talk.
So like, I'd be at work and I'd hear myself and I'd be like, you need to just stop this because you're absolutely miserable, like you're boring the fuck out yourself now. Do you know what I mean? And just talk about something else, shut up, blah blah blah. So I'd be like then even more negative with myself because that's all I felt, and it just consumes you. It's the only thing I can say. Like, you feel so bad and then you feel worse because you're being negative again and you're like, oh my god, I'm sick. I mean, I used to say that, I'm sick of hearing myself. So you guys must be sick of hearing it, you know.
See, so this is kind of going a little bit off subject or forward, just something I kind of randomly thought of there. Is obviously when you're talking about your training, and obviously I take it your appetite, and obviously when you're saying that right, you're going to go lift heavy, we're going to increase calories and that. Is there the benefit of that to you now that you get excited about the kind of sense that you're in, that you can look for meals and you can have that indulgence?
I don't really eat much more. I still kind of stick to the same foods. I'm very basic. I was used to the chicken and rice and veg, and I kept eating the chicken, rice and veg, but I kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So now I've had to change my diet slightly. I add more beans, chickpeas, that sort of stuff in. So I'll have the chicken and the chickpeas and the veg, but I don't have the rice. I just fill it out with veg. So I've had to like kind of cut my carbs down, and I found that by doing intermittent fasting as well as training to my hormones, that's like made a difference. I don't even weigh myself, so I don't actually know if I've lost weight, but I know I've lost inches, and I just feel better. So
that's the most important.
That's all I care about.
100% the most important thing. So like, you're a bit of a like chicken and rice and broccoli and all things. Not nice. How big is training to you? How like this is everything?
It is everything to me, yeah. And for all of how shit I felt back then, I still kept training, and because I had to, even though like it's disheartening when you're not seeing any progress, because I was used to just progress. Yes, everything's going on how I want, right? And then I'm going bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm like, but I still had to do it for my mental health. Like a lot of, even now, I don't train for a certain physique because I still don't know if I can achieve that, and I don't feel like I'll feel better about myself, but I wouldn't say I'm like, oh, right, we're there, this is the, like, do you know what I mean? Let's go for this. I'm more concentrating now on like getting bigger, so if my arms and my legs get bigger, happy days. I would still like my waist to go down, but it's getting there, but slower. Mental health. Like, I'm massive on mental health. I'm massive on mental health anyway, which is why I feel like it hit us even harder as well, because it's like I'm normally quite tough and quite strong, and I can like deal with this. It took me to a dark place.
That's why I always say your brain does always seem to be that one little step ahead of you every time, and that's why I never truly believe anybody that tells me that they're in complete control and they're that mentally strong that they can't escape.
I think a lot of people think they are.
Yeah.
And I would again say that about myself.
Yeah.
I think life gets you.
Yeah,
One way or another, somehow it will. And this was how it got me.
The massive thing that I'm learning is a lot of our behaviours and how we don't actually absorb what we're taking in, and it gets thrown into the back of your brain, and then you lie there at night at bed and you think, oh, I got pissed off about something and I don't know why that is. Happens to me. You think, if that's happening back there, what else is going on back there? And
I feel like I know all the things that you should be doing. I do know all the things.
Yeah.
I feel like I know a lot of the things that you should be doing. Do I always do them? Probably not. And then I get angry with myself because I've not done them. Like I say, I'm very much like, I can do everything and I don't.
Yeah, well, I go through stages of being full on.
And realizing, oh shit, I am still human.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're not
Where's my cape?
You're not the robot you once thought you were. I'm afraid, Sarah. I'm sorry to tell you that.
That was probably the hardest.
Yeah.
Hardest part of it all.
So, do you have any kind of goals in the fitness way coming up in the new year or anything like that, or are you just kind of going to see how it is?
I was going to say, I would say no. My goals for this year was to feel more like myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like I do, and also to get more out about my menopause, because like I was saying before, I didn't post and stuff, and I feel like Instagram cut you short, and then you've got to do 4 posts to get a point out, and by then it's lost.
Don't get me started on Instagram.
So this has actually like been a goal.
Oh, well, this is brilliant.
Boom,
well,
smashed.
Smashed it, and you done it on the Borderline podcast. Yeah. Cannot wait for you to get famous and make me famous with you.
I always joke, because like, even when I'm at work at Sports Direct, I'm like talking to customers. They'll come in because they see me. I'm talking about my menopause there. My staff are like totally clued up about it. They know everything. They know what tablets they need to do, who they need to get in touch with. So it's a constant thing.
Yeah.
And I joke on that I'm like Berwick's Davina McCall. Because she's big on it. She promotes it.
Quite right.
I need to do something with this.
You do, though. You do get that power and that passion and that drive, especially when it affects you so deep. Like I say, when it really does, when these things put you into such dark places in your life, you come back so much stronger.
Yeah.
Any kind of message to anybody just kind of maybe struggling?
My message would be, don't give up.
Yeah. Pure and simple.
Yeah.
Just keep persist.
Don't let the doctors tell you you're too young. It can't be that. Go and have a poo. Whatever. Like. Yeah. No. Just keep going.
Just keep going.
The amount of women that have said to me, "Oh, I've just muddled on." I couldn't have muddled on. I wouldn't be here if I'd just muddled on.
Yeah.
And that's like a fact. The one thing, keep going. You know your body.
Yeah, that's it. Never give up.
Yeah.
Never get. Life is so much better than giving up on it. And I know that's easier sometimes said than done.
Yeah.
But it really, really, really is. But you're such a bumsy person. You are. And like that's why we had to start this episode.
Yes.
In such a jovial manner. So for the next sort of thing, let's just talk in a kind of more jovial manner, if that's okay. What Sparta? I mean, Sparta's amazing for you.
Yes.
Talk about Sparta for a little bit. Just your relationship.
Sparta, like I say, it's helped me so much. Mentally, like physically, just everything. It's like my little place that every night.
It is genuinely a family here.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And
that's what you just said. I don't know how you can train at this kind of night.
Yeah, it's just where I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, and like I know I've just said I didn't feel comfortable. But now I feel like Sarah is back.
Yeah.
98%. So yeah, it's just I have to just do it for me.
You know what I find really funny about tonight's kind of interview is that we're very, very, very the same in our kind of attitudes and thinking just now. But what I find most fascinating is that you love this, and I'm the introvert that loves coming at 9 o'clock. You know, when before you're like, when you say before, I don't like it in the morning. It's so quiet.
It's too quiet for me.
So laid back. I'm like, that is. I'm all about my strings and classical music at 9 a.m.
When I come in the afternoon and it's like mute, and I'm like, I'll put my tunes on. I'm like, it's not the same vibe.
Yeah.
Like you can't have the dance tunes on, like pum pum pum.
So like away from work and that, what kind of the gym and whatnot. Away from the gym and the menopause.
Yeah.
What's Sarah like? What kind of stuff do you get into?
Not a lot.
No.
No. Meeting up with my friends. I do like meet up with my friends and stuff like that. But like.
Are you a drinker or that? Or you? Yeah, I'm not. Well, that's fine. I think I'm going to get back into it now that it's seasonal. Sorry, Mum.
Yeah.
No, I need it this time of year.
I drink a lot less than what I used to.
Yeah.
Again,
Does that affect the menopause?
Yeah,
Obviously,
massively,
of course,
massively.
hormonally.
You would feel absolutely awful the next day. The anxiety, the nervousness.
Oh, the
The
anxiety.
vibrating. Yeah, it's like a anxiety. It's not. It wasn't worth
It's
it.
rough.
So,
Yeah, that's why I've
I'm
stopped
like
drinking.
known
Or cut down.
see, like bush tunes, bush like Sarah falls to my head all the time, like hyper. So yeah, that was me, and then now I'm still like that, but I found you can't drink.
You can't drink
like what you used to.
No, that's one thing I
also like the medication.
Well, that's it too. Be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. It was the meds. They knackered it for us.
Yeah, that's what I always say. When everybody says to me, "You drink," I say, "No, the medicine doesn't agree with it anymore. It's fine. Leave me alone."
But, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. Do you know what I mean?
No, but it's good to enjoy yourself, and it's good that you still do, especially when you're saying, like even going out to like shops and that could be such a hassle. Now getting out now must feel just fucking amazing at times.
It's like working in a shop. I'm the manager, so you still.
I didn't even know that.
I'm the manager at Sports Direct, so you had to you'd had to have your poker face on or your game face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I could be standing telling my staff what to do, and then I'd forget what I was talking about. When it would get to 5 o'clock, I'm like, right, I've remembered. Like, let's get this day going. We shut at 6.
That's it, honestly.
So it was like, yeah, we're done.
I'm like that jovial boots of serotonin. Yeah. Like, let's fucking go.
So you had to keep putting your face on. You had to kind of still be blah blah blah. But I'm back to jumping around Sports Direct as well.
Well, I'm speaking of Sparta as well, kind of going back into that. One of the questions, and I'm sorry, I'm going to double minute. You said remain all questions anonymous, but Alan did ask, why so short? Why are you so short? Is it before that?
Because good things come in little packages.
I said, oh wow, yes. Oh. Good. Right, he's on the Stairmaster. You just go push that button 10 fucking times.
Let's see what your level and see if you can stay on that.
But Alan as well, he's created such a nice jovial family atmosphere, and I think from Sparta is such a good, or I found it as well, such a brilliant place that it helps us project these messages out to people.
Yes.
Because of that family atmosphere, and you gain so much momentum and support from here.
Yeah.
And it's
beautiful. It's grown so much as well. Like from when I started training, I think there was only about 6 or 7 girls.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you'll know firsthand.
Yeah.
So like even
there's
like
a picture of us, and there's only about 7 of us on the picture. We were the only girls to come here.
And that, let's say, I can't remember what Alan's were now, but they mustn't be far away from a 50-50 split now with Sparta, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why do you think there has been such a meteoric rise, obviously, with females into fitness, but also there seems to be, obviously, still the drawback of the menopause?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I don't.
Just Instagram, social media, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Instagram's got a massive thing to do with it.
I just find it so bizarre that, as you say, there's awareness to this isn't really found on Instagram. Unless you go look for it, you aren't going to go find it.
I was going to say, like, I follow people.
Yeah.
But there ain't no Insta models on there that's talking about this.
That's what I mean.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. There's no figureheads.
Doctors, it's older people and stuff like that. Yeah. They're all just busy.
Well, that's the thing. Is as you said, like it's an old person thing.
Yeah.
That's the taboo stigma behind it. Is I'm too young. I can't. This shouldn't be happening to me. And yes.
And the amount of people that say that to me, like not even doctors. Oh, you can't be. You're too young.
Really?
For that.
Aye. I fucking am.
Okay, you're right. I'm not. I'm just making it up.
Yeah, no. So.
But yeah, I do think it's something that needs to get out there, and maybe if younger people did talk about it as well, then it might.
Yeah. But you're definitely like. You'll get a lot of listeners from tonight, and you'll 100% have helped so many. Like I know, I know you have already. Just like listening to this, just hearing this has answered a lot of things that, like I said before the episode, I always kind of withdraw from a guest a little bit before I go on, because I just want to enjoy the episode and let you talk and let me absorb.
Yeah.
And I've absorbed a lot of this. This has been a really, really, really nice chat. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Yeah. What kind of favorite music are you into? I mean, that's good. That's good.
Just that.
I can't believe it's your bass that's going to be picked up as the soundtrack all the way through this podcast.
I like anything with a beat is probably the running joke. Like
Anything
everything that's like fast paced and
Full
boom,
on.
boom, boom.
Not New Monkey.
No.
Scooter?
No, not a scooter.
Oh,
either.
thank God.
Yeah.
I've got a friend called Pandy who I was at the quiz on Saturday night, and he got a hold of my Spotify, and when I came back from my little cigarette break, Scooter was blaring.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not scooter, but yeah, I do like 90s rave, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you go to raves or that?
No.
I've never been to one. I've never been. I know,
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I would have had you as the one, like,
Everyone's like, yeah,
the little firecracker that needs no alcohol at these raves.
Oh, never, ever. I would be the person that would just need to be sober. I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, no, I can imagine.
I would not need a drink.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're genuinely the first guest that has outbarred me on the sound bars.
It's my cackle.
No, I tell you, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Well, I'm definitely going to have you on again. Like I said to you before tonight, I think it's really important that any guest comes back and you specifically know a hell of a lot about this.
Yeah.
And it's something that we need to keep on pushing with this message.
I like to think now that at least when I'm putting posts out and stuff like that, there is a positive. It's like it's turned a corner. It's not all just like this is doom and gloom and this is shit and blah 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 and this you will feel awful. I do feel it's like right, you can come out of this.
Yeah.
It's not going to overtake you.
Overtake you. That's it. Like you're a strong person who got put down to the very bare bones, and you're back, and that's I'd say that's testament to the recovery and so much that is so much worth it. I just want to thank you a lot for coming on.
Thank you.
Honestly,
for having me.
this
making my goal come true.
Oh, thanks. Like I say, just don't forget about me when you're a millionaire. Or in the memoir, at least please put like my Instagram handle or something in the appendix. So
this was the person I knew.
Oh no, I'm more thinking like in 20 years' time when somebody might listen to it again and go, that man needs a contract right now. Get me out of that job. But no, you're such a fun person that I really want to get you on again anyway, because
that would be great.
you're genuinely made for podcasting. It's fun.
Thank you.
Honestly, you are. It's been fantastic, and so I'm going to end that tonight, guys. If you do have any questions regarding the menopause, I would highly anticipate you maybe just send Sarah a message. Yeah. She's across there on Instagram. At your Instagram handle, SS Body Sculpt.
Body Sculpt, I think.
SS _ Body Sculpt. I'll tag her. We'll tag this after this.
Keith told me what it was the other day.
Oh, that's good. That's it. How does Keith manage to get on every single one of these episodes?
I was like, how does he even know as well? But yeah.
Right, guys, this has been absolutely tremendous. I think everybody would have learned a hell of a lot tonight. I'm going to sign off on that. This has been the Borderline Podcast, and I've been your host, Andrew Willix. Good night.